All right, one more thing I forgot to mention. I'm going to throw this in at the beginning of the video. Right here, the banner of our Google Classroom page is a really important piece of information. It's my Zoom ID, which I also showed you in the syllabus. I think I mentioned it. And also a tiny URL. So if you want to bookmark this, but all of our Zoom meetings, whether it's a Wednesday office hours, whether it's an activity period, whether it's the remote students Zooming in at the beginning of a class, this is where you're going to get that ID from. So either bookmark this tiny URL and it'll take you right there, or just go to Zoom and this will be our ID. So that will always be my Mr. Klemperer's Zoom room for our class this year. Okay? So now you're going to get into the main video. Bye. All right, so I'm going to make a quick video, and I'm not sure if I'm going to have you watch it for homework or not yet, but certainly for the students who are remote. Just quickly going through the syllabus. I know you guys can read this on your own. Let me zoom in a little bit for you. It will be pinned to the top of your Google Classroom, so it's not up there. Well, when you're watching this, it will be up there, but it's going to be at the top of the classwork tab, course syllabus. It'll say Precalculus Honors Syllabus, so you can look through this at any time. And while I'm here, just the usual Google Classroom stuff. You guys probably have so much experience with it now. This is going to be a piece of cake for you. I will have your textbook, and I don't have it here now. Your textbook I have all in PDF, so I'm going to link the textbook right at the top here as well, so that way you can always access that. And I don't have to pass out hard copies this year because we want to try to limit sharing, obviously. Here I'll put your notes for each day, anything I post, any assignments, any worksheets, any class materials will be on these little material tabs. That symbol means materials, so that will actually be the first notes for the year, your factoring review notes. And I will also put your assignments on there, so videos, anything else, Google Forms, anything with due dates. So that's where that stuff will go. In the stream, like always, this is where you'll have any discussions, any agendas that I'm posting for the day. I mean, you guys know this software probably really well right now, but this is where maybe students who are at home on a certain day will add to the class discussion. It's where I'll let you know what I expect from you that day, and that's where you kind of look for announcements. To see the people in your class, you can go to the People tab and it will list everyone out there. All right, so Google Classroom, you can always ask me questions about that. One more thing I wanted to make sure you knew how to do was down here under Settings, you can turn your email notifications off and on. I know I'm getting so many emails, it's overwhelming, so I would probably turn the Google Classroom email notifications off. You may want to have it up on your phone just so you know when things are coming out, when I'm returning assignments, things like that. But that's a nice thing to have. All right, so for the syllabus, the big thing is for our Zoom meetings. So we're going to have Wednesday, those weekly Wednesday office hours will be from 10:05 to 11:10. That's kind of like our remote all no class day. So math is from 10:05 to 11:10. You will use this Zoom ID for to come in and access that. That'll also be used for activity period, which will also be remote this year. All right, so you can read this introduction. The big thing that I think a lot of you are used to from last spring was this idea of the flipped classroom. So most of what we're doing this year, I think, is going to be assigned through video. So like a typical routine would be your homework is to watch a video on whatever topic we happen to be doing. So you'll watch the video, you may answer a couple of questions to check for your understanding so I know that you did it. And then that video will be due probably at 7 a.m. on the class day. So no matter whether you're remote or in person, you'll have a video. It'll be due 7 a.m. that day. And then in class that day, we'll do some practice with that video. We'll do a worksheet. We'll do some activities. We'll do, some group practice, whether it's a Google Doc or a Google slide we're creating, whatever. But that's how I think we're going to use kind of our class time, is to practice the skills that you're learning in the video. Okay, so you have to get those videos done, otherwise you're going to show up to class and be lost. All right, so yeah, we'll get the hang of those. Really, my big thing is that you don't just turn the video on, hit play, and then like zone out and watch TV and play on your phone while it's playing. The videos are designed for you to pause, rewind, rewatch things if you need to. It's a way that you can pause your teacher. So if I'm talking too fast, you can flip back and rewind and watch it again if you need to. So that it's actually a really nice way to do class. but we'll talk about more of that when we get there. All right, there's your supplies. We do have calculators to loan out if you need them. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, if you need a Chromebook, I know probably you didn't sign up for one if you have a device at home. As of now, Kami is this great tool that probably some of you have experience with from last year. The great thing about that is I can leave you, and you can leave me, audio and video comments. So if you're having trouble with a question, instead of like having to type everything in and me responding back to you and saying, oh, you forgot to, you forgot your pi on question number 17, the answer should have been, 2 pi minus 3, whatever. Instead of having to type that all out, we can record audio and video to each other. So it's going to be a much easier way to go back and forth. But like I said, right now it's not working with Apple devices. Those features you can still get onto Kami, but you can't use those recording features. So the best way to do that is with a Chromebook or a laptop or a desktop computer at home. So if all you have is an iPhone, let me know and we'll see if we can get you a Chromebook, because that's going to be helpful, I think, this year. So please, please, please let me know. Grading, I'm still figuring out how it's going to look, but I know right now there's not going to be like a test in a homework category. We're going to have one big category and everything will be assigned point values. Homeworks will be worth less than, assessments. I don't see us doing many huge, big in-class tests this year, because the best case scenario, I'm only seeing you guys once a week. I don't think using class time to do massive unit tests is the best use of our time. So instead, we'll be doing group projects, slideshows, reflections, maybe some audio or video, explaining to me how you solve the problem. So I'm still kind of figuring that out, but we'll talk as we go about that. But those kind of assessment pieces, maybe entry tickets or exit tickets, will be worth, more points than a homework would be, for example. So we'll continue to kind of talk about that. The grading thing, I want you guys to learn some skills this year to get yourself ready for Calc next year. The grading thing will happen when it happens and how it happens. I don't want you to stress about your grades. You guys work hard, you do what I ask you to do. You improve throughout the year, you grow as a student, your grades will fall into place, okay? And as you're gonna hear from all your teachers, if it's a remote day for you, or if you're all remote, you are expected to be available during our scheduled class time. So if you're in second period pre-calc and you have class, whatever the time is, 9:20 to 10:45, whatever it is this year, you're expected to be available during that time. So it's not like last spring where you could turn your homework in at 2 a.m. and still get credit for that. All right. There will be in-class expectations of you, whether you're at home or remote. So that could be something as simple as a Google form. It could be something simple as checking in on Zoom. Could be handing in a worksheet or doing some Delta math questions by the end of the day. But you are expected to be available during your scheduled class time. And if that's going to be a problem with you, just let me know. We'll figure something out. But plan on that. All right, there's your expectations. But we got to communicate this year. You have to let me know what's giving you trouble. What's good, what's bad, am I giving you too much work, am I giving you too little work? But we have to talk, we have to be open with each other. And on that same note, I'm going to try something, we'll see how it goes, little learning groups. So this is not like the learning pod thing that you hear about, but I felt kind of alone last spring. I didn't collaborate and communicate with my peers and my students as much as I really like to. So what I'm going to do the first week or two of school is set up little learning groups, probably groups of 2 or 3, and it's really just a person for you to just to commiserate with, to ask questions, to say, I had trouble on the video last night. How did you do number 5? Or lunch is I'm having trouble being in lunch. I don't have any friends in there. Talk to these people. This is like your little team, and we're going to change the groups as we go, but just really as an ear to bounce things off, as a shoulder to cry on if you're having trouble, a friend or a new friend to have in class. And they will also be used to do activities, group assignments, group projects, whether it's like putting together a slideshow of what you learned this unit. These groups will be kind of your team for, I don't know how long, a few weeks at a time, and then we'll switch it up again. So that's going to be my goal, to kind of get us feeling more like a class again. So instead of us feeling so isolated, connected to our devices, to talk to these people, whether it's through text or FaceTime or a Google Hang or a Zoom meeting or a socially distanced, out in the back of the library or something, just a way to connect with people. So we're going to talk about more that in class a little bit more. But I thought it was something just to try out to see if it helps us feel a little more sense of community. All right. And then the last thing at the bottom here, you'll see when you come into class, I'm very big on the growth mindset. I believe the brain is a muscle. It's not like you don't have the math gene or you don't have the math gene. I really think you can grow, you can improve as a student across any of your subjects. You're in honors pre-calc, so you probably have had success in math. But that doesn't mean things won't get hard. Doesn't mean they shouldn't get hard for you. All right. I just want you to do your best to work hard this year. Don't stress the grade thing. I know you guys want to get good grades, but I really just want you to improve, to work hard, to learn the skills I'm teaching you, and just to try to have a good, happy, positive year this year. All right. So please communicate with me. Let me know what you need throughout the year. Let me know what's giving you trouble. And that's it. We'll talk more in class. All right, guys. I'll see you. Bye.